Peace. What's going on, Patrick? Conservative Rap. And let's take a look in this video at the end of the Great Reset and the beginning of the Golden Age Great Awakening. Now, they said when they were ending Biden's term that they were handing off a good economy. But we all know that was fictitious. The Fed cut rates to inflate things. They knew they were handing off effectively a recession to Trump. The only thing that's keeping us from a full-scale depression really is the tariffs, if you think about it. And Trump is at the point where he's about to give out dividends to the public. So you're going to see meat come down when you look at the deals happening with Argentina and an end to that monopoly. And let's just take a look at some other things and see what's happening. This is Scott Bissett on X. I'm going to take a quick listen. 20 trillion in new investments so far. Let's take a quick listen.
The president uses the number 20 trillion in terms of total investments. And I think that those commitments are real. And whether it's corporate investment, whether it's the Japanese trade deal where they're going to put in 550 billion, that whether it's the Korean trade deal with 350 billion, whether it's Apple saying that they're going to reshore, I believe that they may be up to 500 billion. So it's investments like we've never seen. And Brett, just to put that in perspective, the entire Biden administration was 1 trillion. 1 trillion over 4 years, 250 billion the final year. And we've got many single investments that are bigger than the Biden administration took in 1 year. So this is America's back. The president's done that, our great tax policy. So we're deregulating, we've got tax certainty, and we're working on energy certainty.
Again, new reality that we're walking into. There's their old fiat currency-based system that's based on them taxing us through deflation of the currency over multiple generations. And then there's this parallel economic reality that exists outside of the Federal Reserve, which is what the deep state doesn't want because it ends their corruption. They're not going to be able to fund their activities, and they're not going to be able to get rich off the populace, off of you and I. Now we're going to move on to Unusual Whales put this out on X. For the first time, the majority of British adults believe the generosity of the welfare system stops people from supporting themselves. Duh, per the National Center for whatever the heck, right? So again, people, you and I, this is common sense, but again, a great awakening happening. And look at this percentage increase over the last year or so. It's amazing. Stephen Miller reveals shocking statistic. I found this both on X as well as Gateway Pundit. 40% of rent control housing in New York City, where I live and where you may live, occupied by a foreign-born population. White House Deputy Chief of Staff, Homeland Security Stephen Miller joined Smith on Newsmax to discuss Trump administration's increase in revoking visas to the U.S. During the discussion, Miller shared a shocking statistic regarding rent-controlled housing in New York City. 40% of the rent-controlled housing in New York City are foreign-born. Think about that. Let's take a quick listen here on X instead.
40% of the population of rent-controlled housing in New York City are foreign-born. Think about that. In one of the largest metropolitan areas in the world, 40% of rent-controlled properties are being lived in by people who weren't even born in the country. What kind of system is this? We bring in people from foreign countries, and then we pay to lower the cost of their housing, while people who were born here have to pay higher prices. So when President Trump is reducing net migration, that is what's going to ultimately, along with all these other steps, deregulation, historic tax cuts, going to bring down the cost of housing.
Yeah. Let me ask you about this.
Amazing. And moving on, here's more on the Fed from Walter Bloomberg clipping Trump. It's actually, I would recommend both Elon and Trump's full talks with the Saudi investment forum recently. Let's check this out.
I love the Fed job. To me, it's the easiest job in the world. You play golf for 28, 29 days, then you go and make a little speech, tell everybody, in the case of the current guy, the wrong information because he has no clue. But if you have good instincts, it's all based on instincts. I see they want to hire 3,000 economists, 3,000 to report to the Fed chairman. What are they going to do? Take all this information? 3,000 economists. That's why they're spending $4 billion on renovating a building that should have cost $25 million to do.
It's fascinating. And moving on to Geiger Capital, you may have seen this. Rate cut odds just collapsed because Powell won't get the data until it's too late. BLS says it won't publish October jobs report. November jobs report rescheduled for December 16th. Third world data collection. The Fed's now flying blind for their meetings. Right? And I like Onifil's response. They don't need that data. These people are supposedly legit economists except for Powell. It's obvious what's going on. The rate is too restrictive and they should keep cutting 25 basis points until they get to neutral. Inaction at this meeting is purely political and another reason to end the Fed, abolish the Fed. Again, guys, it's a new reality we're walking into. You got economists that can't figure basic things out, creating BS reasons for not working. You got American citizens waking up to the fact that they're supporting foreign-born, rent-controlled realities for non-Americans. And Trump is laying out the real facts at these sortie meetings, right? We've been talking about this. The Patriots and the new ethos of civilization is not going to be about handouts. Trade deals are showing that these countries have to learn to fend for themselves. And here in America, we're looking at more resilience and more golden age economic realities coming about. What do you think? Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share, and check me out at ConservativeRap.com for more. Thanks and take care.